The name Rockefeller echoes through history, resonating with tales of immense wealth and a legacy that has left an indelible mark on American industry and society. Synonymous with unimaginable wealth and an unparalleled influence that shaped American industry. The Rockefellers were not just industrialists, they were visionaries who saw the potential in the burgeoning oil industry and seized it with both hands. From the oil fields of Pennsylvania, where the first sparks of their empire were ignited, to the towering skyscrapers of Manhattan, symbols of their monumental success and ambition, the family's ascent is a story of ambition, innovation, and relentless pursuit of their goals, and an unyielding grasp on the levers of power. Their influence extended far beyond the oil industry, reaching into the very corridors of political and economic power in America.
I built my empire on the back of Standard Oil, a company that revolutionized the petroleum industry and set new standards for business practices. A company that would come to dominate the global petroleum market, influencing economies and industries worldwide.
But the Rockefeller story is not just about oil derricks and stock certificates. It is a multifaceted narrative that encompasses philanthropy, social reform, and cultural influence. It is a story about a family's enduring legacy, one that has been carefully crafted and maintained over generations. One that extends far beyond the realm of business and into the very fabric of American society. The Rockefellers were not just business magnates, they were also patrons of the arts, education, and science. It is a story woven into the threads of philanthropy, social reform, and a commitment to improving society. Their contributions to education, healthcare, and scientific research have left a lasting impact, and perhaps surprisingly to some, the burgeoning feminist movement of the 20th century. The Rockefellers supported various social causes, including women's rights, long before it became a mainstream issue. While their male counterparts often take center stage in historical narratives, it is important to recognize the significant contributions of the women in the Rockefeller family. The women of the Rockefeller family played a pivotal role in shaping this legacy, their influence subtle yet profound. They were often the driving force behind the family's philanthropic endeavors, their influence subtle yet profound. These women were not just silent partners, they were active participants in the family's mission to create a better society, driven by a complex interplay of motivations, including a genuine desire to effect social change and a strategic understanding of the benefits of a more equitable society, from a genuine belief in social progress to a shrewd understanding of the economic benefits of a more equitable society. The Rockefellers were ahead of their time in many ways. To a shrewd understanding of the economic benefits of a more equitable society, they recognized that a prosperous society benefits everyone, including the wealthy. The Rockefellers would become unlikely champions of women's rights. Their support for women's education and empowerment initiatives helped pave the way for future generations. Their story challenges us to look beyond simplistic narratives and to appreciate the complexities of their legacy, and to grapple with the nuanced ways in which power, privilege, and ideology intersect to shape historical change. The Rockefeller dynasty is a testament to the profound impact that one family can have on the world, for better or worse. While the Rockefellers' support for the feminist movement was often subtle, their impact was undeniable. They understood that true power lay not just in amassing wealth, but in shaping the social and political landscape. Their approach was multi-pronged, a strategic blend of philanthropy, political maneuvering, and quiet advocacy that often played out behind the scenes.
I recognized that true equality required more than just symbolic gestures. It demanded a fundamental shift in attitudes and opportunities.
Abby Aldrich Rockefeller, the wife of John D. Rockefeller Jr., emerges as a key figure in this narrative. A woman of deep conviction and a keen intellect, Abby understood the systemic barriers that held women back. Through their vast philanthropic network, the Rockefellers channeled resources into organizations and initiatives that empowered women. They funded educational programs, provided crucial support for women's suffrage organizations, and championed initiatives that aimed to improve the lives of women and girls, particularly those from marginalized communities. To fully grasp the Rockefellers' involvement in the feminist movement, it's essential to recognize the economic and political forces at play. The early 20th century was a time of immense social and technological change. The Industrial Revolution had created a demand for labor, and women increasingly were seen as a potential source of untapped economic power.
The Rockefellers, with their business acumen, recognized that a more educated and empowered female workforce could translate into greater productivity and economic growth. They understood that investing in women was not just a matter of social justice, it was a shrewd business strategy.
Moreover, the family was keenly aware of the growing political clout of the women's rights movement. The fight for suffrage was gaining momentum, and the Rockefellers, with their deep ties to the political elite, were strategically positioned to influence the national conversation. Section 4. Agents of Influence, the women who shaped the Rockefeller legacy. While the Rockefeller men held positions of overt power and influence, it was often the women within the family who drove the agenda for social change. These women, though not always in the public eye, were the true architects of the family's philanthropic and social initiatives. They understood the importance of using their privileged positions to make a difference in society.
With an unwavering belief in the potential of women, I became a powerful voice within the family, urging my husband and sons to use their influence to advance the cause of women's rights. I saw the injustices faced by women and knew that our family had the means to make a significant impact. My advocacy was not just for the women within our family, but for all women who were denied opportunities and rights.
Her daughters-in-law, including Mary Todd Hunter Clark Rockefeller, who married Nelson Rockefeller, also played significant roles. These women were not content to simply stand by. They took active roles in various social causes, from education to healthcare, and their efforts were instrumental in shaping the family's legacy.
These women, often operating behind the scenes, used their social standing and access to networks of power to advocate for change, supporting organizations, and championing causes that aligned with their values. They understood the power of collaboration and often worked with other influential women to amplify their impact. Their efforts were not just about charity, but about creating sustainable change.
The Rockefeller women understood that lasting change requires more than just financial support. It requires a genuine commitment to shifting cultural norms and challenging entrenched power structures. They were pioneers in advocating for gender equality and worked tirelessly to break down barriers that held women back. Their legacy is a testament to the power of perseverance and the impact of dedicated advocacy.
We used our platforms to amplify the voices of women from all walks of life, bringing the realities of gender inequality into sharp focus. By highlighting these issues, we were able to garner support from both men and women, creating a united front against discrimination. Our efforts were aimed at not just raising awareness, but also at driving legislative and social changes that would benefit future generations.
Their efforts helped to create a more receptive environment for feminist ideas and to legitimize the movement in the eyes of the political and social elite. Abby Aldrich Rockefeller, in particular, was a formidable force, using her influence to support the arts and education and to promote social welfare. Her work laid the foundation for many of the family's philanthropic endeavors and set a precedent for future generations to follow. The Rockefeller women, through their dedication and vision, have left an indelible mark on history, proving that true power lies in the ability to inspire and enact change. Section 5. Education as Empowerment, the Foundation for Female Advancement. The Rockefellers firmly believed that education was the cornerstone of progress, and this belief extended to their support for women's education.
They understood that providing women with access to quality education was not just about individual empowerment. It was about creating a more just and equitable society as a whole.
Through their philanthropic endeavors, they poured resources into establishing and supporting women's colleges and universities, providing scholarships for underprivileged women and funding programs that encouraged girls to pursue careers in traditionally male-dominated fields.
The family's impact on women's education was particularly profound in the American South, where they played a pivotal role in establishing and supporting historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs. These institutions provided crucial educational opportunities for generations of African American women, empowering them to become leaders, educators, and agents of change within their communities.
Section 6. Birth Control and Beyond. Reshaping the landscape of women's lives. This section delves into the pivotal role that birth control has played in transforming women's lives, granting them unprecedented control over their futures. One of the most controversial, yet ultimately transformative areas of Rockefeller philanthropy was their support for reproductive rights, particularly access to birth control. This support was not just about providing contraceptives, it was about empowering women to make informed decisions about their own bodies and lives.
They recognized that true equality for women hinged on their ability to control their own bodies and reproductive choices. Without this control, women would remain at a significant disadvantage in both personal and professional spheres.
While their support for birth control was initially shrouded in secrecy due to the social stigma surrounding the issue, the Rockefellers eventually became more vocal in their advocacy. They understood that breaking the silence was crucial for societal acceptance and progress.
They provided crucial funding for research into new forms of contraception and supported organizations that provided reproductive healthcare services to women. This funding was instrumental in developing safer and more effective contraceptive methods, which have had a lasting impact on women's health and autonomy.
Their involvement in the birth control movement was not without its critics, who accused them of promoting a eugenics agenda. These accusations were a significant challenge, but the Rockefellers were committed to their cause.
However, the Rockefellers remained steadfast in their belief that women had the right to make their own reproductive choices, and that access to safe and reliable contraception was essential for women's health and empowerment. They worked closely with pioneers like Margaret Sanger, who was a leading figure in the birth control movement, to ensure that their efforts were aligned with the broader goals of women's rights and health. Today, the legacy of the Rockefellers' support for reproductive rights continues to resonate. Modern women's rights movements and contemporary reproductive health advocacy owe much to the groundwork laid by these early efforts. The ability for women to access birth control has become a fundamental aspect of gender equality and personal freedom, reshaping the landscape of women's lives for generations to come.
If you found this content informative, please subscribe, like, and share for more insightful videos. Thank you for watching.